Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're all about Cardano, specifically how they're going for speed. We've got some cool stuff to dig into from the Ouroboros Peras blog post and this infographic. Really though, our goal today is figuring out how this new protocol is going to make transactions on Cardano just lightning fast. They're using stake-based voting to do it. It's a pretty wild idea.
Yeah, well, it's really all about keeping up with how fast Cardano's growing. More people, more projects. The blockchain has got to keep up with all the transactions.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
rush hour, but on the blockchain. So the blog post mentioned they already have Hydra and Mithril, right? They're doing some great work taking things off chain and helping nodes get in sync fast. But Paris and this other one, Leos Ferris, those are tackling layer one head on. Sounds like they're aiming to streamline the network itself.
Yeah, they're really going for a performance boost. And what's cool is how they're developing it. It's like rapid prototyping and simulations to go from research to actually making it work, all while keeping to these high scientific standards. It shows how Cardano is all about being both fast and thorough.
Okay, so let's talk fast settlement.
Ew.
Honestly, when I first heard that, I was a bit lost. Like, what does that even mean for someone like me who just wants to use crypto?
Okay, so think of buying a coffee with crypto. Right now, you might be waiting a while for that to actually go through. Fast settlement is like using your debit card, boom, instant. You know you paid, and you can go on with your day.
So no more staring at my phone waiting for that green check mark.
Exactly. Paris is trying to cut down that wait time, so crypto feels as smooth as any other way you pay. And it's not just for small stuff either. Like imagine buying a car with crypto.
Ooh, yeah, good example.
You'd want that to be totally secure, right? Fast settlement gives you that extra confidence. Less chance of anything going wrong.
Makes sense. So how does settlement actually work in Cardano now with Ouroboros Peras? Is it like we're just waiting on each transaction?
So in Prouse, each block has a chance of being reversed. But that chance goes down over time as more blocks get added. It's all about probability. The stake pool operator, the SPOs, they can make blocks based on how much stake they have. The longer a block is in the chain, the less likely it'll get reversed.
Okay, so like building a tower of blocks. The higher it is, the more stable. But the blog post did mention block reverts. That sounds kind of scary. What causes those? Should we be worried?
Well, sometimes two SPOs might make blocks at the same time. Creates a fork, but Cardano fixes these issues quickly, like it's self-correcting. The bigger worry is someone messing with the blockchain, like making a secret chain and trying to swap it in to cause problems. It's rare, but it's possible.
So can we get rid of this uncertainty completely, or is that just how blockchain is?
Gotta understand the difference between finality and settlement. Some blockchains, like Algorand, use this BFT thing, Byzantine fault tolerant. That gives you instant permanent confirmation. Think judge banging the gavel case closed.
Done deal, end of story.
Exactly. But Nakamoto-style protocols like Ouroboros, that's settlement. It's not about being absolutely sure. It's about the chance of a reverse going down over time. It's never zero, but it gets so small it's basically nothing.
So like knowing your lottery ticket didn't win, but you still check just in case.
Haha, yeah, like that. But here's the thing. That tiny, tiny chance of a reverse is just theory. Cardano's been super reliable in the real world. And with Peras, they want to make settlement even faster and tougher.
Got it. So Paris is building on what's already there. How does it actually speed things up?
Imagine a bunch of SPOs, all the respected ones in the Cardano community. With Peras, they can vote to boost certain blocks that are a bit behind. If enough agree, it's like a supermajority saying, these blocks are good, let's lock them in.
So a fast track for blocks that everyone likes?
Exactly, and this voting is designed to be really secure. They have things like quorums and voting gaps to stop anyone from messing with it.
Wait, hold on. What are quorums and voting gaps?
Okay, so a quorum is like a minimum number of SPOs that need to agree before a block gets boosted, like a safety check. And voting gaps are like pauses between votes to stop anyone from manipulating things too quickly.
So checks and balances to keep everything fair.
Exactly. And if they don't get a quorum, Peras has a cooldown period. It goes back to acting like Prouse for a bit, like taking a break to make sure everything's okay.
So a balance between speed and security.
Yeah, exactly. The bigger the boost, the faster the settlement, but the longer the cooldown, just in case. But the good news is Cardano has great SPO participation and no major attacks. So Peras could mean continuous fast settlement without those cooldowns happening much.
That's good to hear. Now, Cardano is big on being open source and evidence-based. How did that work with Paris?
Same rigorous way as everything else with Cardano. Started with research and papers outlining the ideas and the algorithms. They didn't just jump into coding. It's a solid foundation. Then formal specifications, prototype implementations using Haskell, their language, and tons of simulations to see how it would actually work.
So lots of testing before releasing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And being open source is crucial. Anyone can look at the code, find issues, and help make it better, like thousands of eyes looking for problems and working together.
So Paris is still being developed, but already benefits from that collaboration.
Yeah.
What's next for Paris? What can our listeners expect?
Well, the core ideas are there, but there's still work before it goes live on the mainnet. They're finalizing specs and prototypes and always testing. But here's something interesting. They actually made a Cardano improvement proposal, a CIP for Paris, before the research paper was even published. Shows how dedicated they are to being both fast and scientific.
Wow, a CIP before the paper? That's unusual.
It shows how they're really speeding up development. Exciting stuff coming for Paris.
Definitely intrigued. But for our listeners, why should they care about all this technical stuff? What does it mean for their everyday lives?
So for the average person, faster settlement means quicker confirmations. Imagine paying for groceries, sending money, or using dApps, and you know instantly that your transaction is good.
So no more waiting and wondering if your crypto went through.
Exactly. Makes using crypto more like using regular payments. That's key for getting more people to use it.
And what about those secure bridges between blockchains? Paris could make them even better, right?
Absolutely. It's like connecting different crypto universes so they can easily talk and share value.
Okay, I'm starting to see the big picture.
Yeah.
But the blog post also mentioned Laos alongside Paris. What's that about?
Laos, that's another exciting part. It's focused on making the most of the network's bandwidth. So Paris makes settlement faster, and Laos is all about letting the network handle way more transactions.
So like widening the highway so more cars can drive. And Paris makes sure those cars can travel quickly and safely.
Perfect analogy. Together, Paras and Laos are Cardano's plan for scaling. They cover both speed and capacity. And they work with existing stuff like Hydra, all leading to a truly scalable blockchain future.
This is all really impressive. But before we finish this part of our deep dive, you mentioned Cardano's community involvement. The blog post says people can get involved with Paris. Yeah. How can they actually do that?
The Cardano community is super active and welcoming. They have forums, Discord servers, working groups. People can discuss ideas, contribute code, be part of development.
So even if you're not a coder, you can still contribute. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even just spreading the word, sharing information, or giving feedback helps. Cardano believes that working together and being open leads to the best ideas.
It's inspiring to see a blockchain that's so transparent and involves its community. Makes you feel like you're part of something bigger.
It's a core part of Cardano's vision. Building a system that's decentralized and includes everyone.
Yeah, it really does.
It really shows how much they value community.
So this whole conversation about faster transactions and Cardano scaling up, how could that actually change things for people in their everyday lives? What kind of possibilities are we talking?
Okay, so imagine blockchain is just part of everything we do every day. Almost invisible, but powering so much behind the scenes. Financial systems, supply chains, voting, even our digital identities, all running on a secure, transparent, and super fast blockchain, all thanks to innovations like Peras.
Whoa, okay, slow down. So you're saying no more waiting forever for international bank transfers. They could happen like instantly. And supply chains could track everything perfectly in real time. So like recalls would be way more efficient.
Exactly. And think about voting on a blockchain secured with Peras. Election results would be verified right away. No more fraud, and people would actually trust the system again.
It's kind of hard to imagine how big of an impact that would have.
I know, right? It could change how we interact with the world. And that's just the beginning. As these scaling solutions get better and more people use them, we'll see even more innovation stuff we can't even think of yet.
Okay, this is some serious future stuff. But let's get back to Paris. Is there anything else about how it works that our listeners should know?
You know, one thing that really stands out to me is how Paras handles those rare times when they don't get a quorum for a block. Remember that cooldown period we talked about? It's a really smart safety feature. It basically switches back to how Preos works for a bit. Make sure the system is still secure even when something unexpected happens.
Like a built-in safety net. So even if there's a hiccup, it won't become a big problem.
Exactly. It shows how much thought and planning went into Paris. They're not just going for speed. They're making a system that's both fast and reliable.
That makes me think about how Cardano approaches development in general. They always seem to be focused on security and making things that work reliably.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that makes Cardano different. They're committed to doing things the right way. Peer-reviewed, scientifically rigorous, you can see it in everything they do. They're not rushing to be the first. They're building something that will last.
It's like they're building a cathedral, not just some temporary shack.
I like that analogy. It really captures the sense of purpose that Cardano has.
This has been a really fascinating look into Ouroboros Peras. We've learned how it can speed up transactions, its role in Cardano's plan for scaling, and the amazing potential it has for the future of blockchain.
And we've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore as this technology keeps getting better. It's a really exciting time to be following Cardano.
I totally agree. Before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
I always love a good question.
So as blockchain becomes easier to use and can handle more transactions, how do you think it will change different industries? We talked about finance and voting, but what about healthcare education or even the arts? It seems like there are so many possibilities.
You're right. We're just starting to see how powerful blockchain can be. As it gets faster, more secure, and easier to use, it's going to open up so many opportunities that we can only dream of right now.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about how much could change because of blockchain.
It really is. And it's not just the tech itself, it's the people too, Cardano's community is full of people who are passionate about this. They want to see a future that's decentralized, fair, and sustainable. They believe blockchain can make a difference, and they're working hard to make it happen.
It's inspiring to see that. So as we wrap up our deep dive on Ouroboros Peras, what's the main thing you want our listeners to take away from all this?
I think it's that Paris is more than just a tech upgrade. It's a sign of Cardano's ambition. It shows how committed they are to pushing the limits of what blockchain can do. It's a big step towards scalability, security, and making blockchain easy for everyone to use. It has the potential to make blockchain a part of everyday life, empowering people and changing industries.
I like that. So to recap, for everyone listening, we've looked at how Paris could totally change how fast and secure transactions are on Cardano. It's all about making settlements quicker, making transactions faster and more secure, and it's setting the stage for a blockchain experience that's truly scalable and user-friendly.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one last thing to think about. As blockchain keeps evolving, how will these improvements to scalability impact our lives? Could fast settlement open up totally new ways to use blockchain? It's something to consider as we move forward in this exciting world of technology.
Definitely a lot to think about. To all our listeners, we encourage you to check out the resources we've provided. Dive deeper into Cardano and continue exploring with us. Until next time, keep on diving deep.